feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
The WNBA elevates. Remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up.
I bet you can't watch this leaked footage of Caitlin Clark in Europe without getting mad at the WNBA. Seriously, try it. Watch her play with a smile on her face, dropping threes like it's nothing, and tell me you're not fuming. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Still not convinced? Wait till you see how her new teammates treat her. No cheap shots, no drama, just pure respect. It's everything the WNBA should have been. Think you can make it through the whole video without calling out the league? Let's find out. You know what's wild? While Caitlin's tearing it up in the WNBA, there's this whole other basketball world across the ocean that's drooling to get her. Picture this. European teams are glued to their screens watching Clark's every move, ready to throw stacks of cash her way. It's like they've got their checkbooks out, just waiting for the right moment. But here's where things get crazy. The WNBA's paying Clark peanuts. We're talking $70,000 for her rookie year. That's not even enough to buy a decent car in some cities.
Our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000 or $78,000.
Meanwhile, Europe's over here waving fat checks in her face. We're talking $500,000 easy, and that's just the starting point. Plus, they're throwing in all these sweet perks like luxury apartments and personal chefs. You'd think the WNBA would be shaking in their boots, right? But they're acting like everything's fine, like they've got Clark locked down for life. It's like they're living in some alternate reality where top talent doesn't have options. Let's break down why Europe's such a sweet deal for Clark. First off, there's no drama. No cheap shots from players trying to make a name for themselves. It's just pure basketball, the way it's meant to be played.
The WNBA elevates. Remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up.
And get this, in Europe they actually appreciate skill. Imagine that. They're not trying to tear down their stars. They're building them up. European leagues treat their stars like absolute royalty. We're talking red carpet treatment everywhere they go. Charter flights? Check. 5-star hotels? You bet. Personal drivers? Why not? It's like they took everything the WNBA doesn't do and said, hey, let's do all of that. But wait, there's more. The WNBA is about to learn a hard lesson about keeping their stars happy. See, it's not just about the money, it's about respect. It's about creating an environment where players can thrive. And right now, Europe's offering that on a silver platter, while the WNBA is serving it up on a paper plate. Speaking of thriving environments, let's talk about the WNBA's idea of player protection. Imagine having a golden goose and letting it get roughed up in the henhouse. That's exactly what's happening with Caitlin Clark, and it's got everyone from fans to fellow players raising their eyebrows. You'd think the WNBA would be bending over backwards to keep Clark happy, right? I mean, this rookie sensation boosted their viewership by a mind-blowing 142%. That's not just good, that's game-changing.
It sucks that so much of it was riddled with so much drama and so much negativity and so many mishaps.
We're talking about a player who's single-handedly making people care about women's basketball like never before. But here's where things get wild. While Clark's out there breaking records and bringing in the big bucks, she's getting hammered on the court. And the WNBA? They're just watching from the sidelines, twiddling their thumbs. It's like they've got a Lamborghini and they're treating it like a beat-up minivan. You want to know how valuable Clark is? Fans are shelling out $4,000 for tickets just to see her play. $4,000. That's vacation money, people. And what does Clark get in return? A measly $70,000 salary and a target on her back every time she steps on the court. Clark's not keeping quiet about it either. She straight up said, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with. That's not just a rookie complaining, that's a superstar calling out a serious problem."
Officiating recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with."
And you know what's even crazier? Other players are starting to speak up too. Gabby Williams, another WNBA player, is calling out the league for how they treat their stars. She's saying the league's promises about marketing deals and high salaries are just hot air. It's like the WNBA's building a house of cards, and Clark's situation is the gust of wind that might blow it all down.
Caitlin Clark has now broke that glass ceiling, and they should be bowing at her. She's going to create jobs and money.
This isn't just about Clark anymore. It's about every single player in the WNBA watching how they treat their biggest star. If they can't protect Clark, what chance do the rest of them have? The league's talking about making some rule changes to protect players better, but at this point it feels like too little. Too late. The WNBA might be dragging its feet, but Clark's not waiting around. She's been spotted in a place where women's basketball is treated like royalty. And the footage? It's got everyone asking, is this the future of women's hoops? Let's take a trip across the Atlantic and see what's really going on. You won't believe this, but in Europe, they actually appreciate talent. I know, crazy concept, right?
Feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
Picture Clark stepping onto a court where no one's trying to take her out. No elbows flying, no cheap shots, just pure basketball. It's like she's entered some kind of basketball utopia.
I have honestly never seen a company fumble the bag so hard like the WNBA fumbled Caitlin Clark.
And get this, in Europe, they don't care about your race or background. They just want to see great basketball. It's all about skill, passion, and putting on a show for the fans. Imagine Clark playing with a smile on her face, dropping threes like they're layups. That's exactly what we're seeing in this leaked footage. It's like watching a completely different player, relaxed, confident, and absolutely dominating the game. But it's not just about what happens on the court. European teams are rolling out the red carpet for their stars. We're talking chartered flights, luxury hotels, the works. No more cramped economy seats or budget motels. These teams understand that happy players perform better, and they're willing to invest in their comfort. You know what's even crazier? Some European teams are offering salaries that make the WNBA look like a lemonade stand. We're talking $500,000 per season, easy. And that's not even including all the perks and bonuses. It's like they took everything the WNBA doesn't do and said, hey, let's do all of that, and then some. In this leaked footage, we're not just seeing Clark play basketball. We're seeing her thrive in a league that celebrates her talent instead of trying to tear her down. She's not looking over her shoulder for the next cheap shot. She's not worrying about making ends meet on a rookie salary. She's just playing the game she loves, and it shows. Clark's European adventure is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, a seismic shift is underway that could leave the WNBA scrambling for survival. How long before other stars follow in her footsteps? You know what's wild? The WNBA is about to get hit with a reality check so hard it might knock them right off their high horse. Think about it. Clark single-handedly made people care about the WNBA. She turned a league that some folks called a glorified scrimmage into must-see TV. But now, with Clark lighting it up in Europe, the WNBA is looking like a fish out of water. Let's talk numbers for a sec. Clark boosted viewership by a whopping 142%. That's not just good, that's game-changing. And those $4,000 tickets? Yeah, those aren't selling themselves. It's all Clark.
Most expensive seats to see Caitlin Clark were selling for over $4,000.
Now imagine all those sponsors who jumped on board because of her. You think they're sticking around when the star of the show's gone? Fat chance. But here's the kicker. It's not just about Clark anymore. Other players are watching, and they're taking notes. They're seeing how Europe treats its stars, and they're thinking, hey, why can't we have that? The WNBA thought they were untouchable, the only game in town. But now, Europe's looking like the promised land for women's basketball. You know what's even crazier? The WNBA created this mess, and now they're scrambling to fix it. They're throwing $50 million at the problem, trying to improve travel conditions and stuff. But it might be too little, too late. It's like trying to plug a leaky dam with bubblegum. Sure, it might hold for a bit, but eventually that dam's gonna burst. And let's not forget about the other players speaking up. Gabby Williams straight up called out the league, saying no player's making that $700,000 the WNBA's bragging about.
Our commissioner talked about us being able to, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that.
It's like the curtain's been pulled back and everyone's seeing the Wizard for what he really is. The exodus of talent to Europe? That's not just a possibility anymore. It's starting to look like a sure thing. And when it happens, it's going to reshape women's basketball globally. We're talking about a whole new world order in the sport. All right, let's wrap this up. The WNBA's got a choice to make, and it's not looking pretty. They can either step up and give their stars the treatment they deserve, or watch them pack their bags for Europe. It's that simple. Think about it. Clark's not just any player. She's a game changer, a once-in-a-generation talent. And right now, she's getting more love from European teams than her own league. That's gotta sting. So what's it gonna be, WNBA? Are you gonna let your golden ticket slip away? Or are you gonna wake up and smell the coffee? The clock's ticking, and Europe's waiting with open arms. Ball's in your court now.